They are fierce indeed, these Kroot, and savage. I look upon them and tremble at their ferocity. I can only hope that when the enemy sees them, they tremble as I do. The Kroot are a helper species of the Tau Empire. Regarded by the Imperials as Krootis Arvania, or Kroot carnivores, this humanoid species hailing from the world of Pek are easily identified as avian in origin. Maturing to full size within only a matter of 10 Terran cycles, with age, the Kroot's skin becomes more leathery and pitted, belying the years of pungent sweat coatings, which provides not only antibiotic benefits, but also flame retardant qualities. Marking their skin with tribal markings and leaving pheromone trails to mark territories with such secretions, their scent alone can be used as a means to communicate with their peers and empathically calm nearby animals. Their pupilless eyes, capable of perceiving infrared spectrums and body heat, their mastery of tracking is remarkable to all who observe them stalking through jungle environments. Communicating primarily through clicks and whistle noises, the Kroot are incredibly discerning with their means of communication and can learn entire languages with astounding speed. Their long quills, barbs, and beaks, typical for their visage, most impressively for these hunter-gatherers, is their ability to adapt their genetic code by the consumption of flesh. First encountered during the closing years of the first sphere of expansion by the exploration fleet of Dalith, their enclaves on the world of Krath endured siege by the Orc species. Aiding the beleaguered defenses of the Kroot, the air and fire caste descended upon the Orcs, committing to a protracted conflict which would be known as the War in the Place of Union. Fighting side by side with the Kroot, the Tau Empire held the line until reinforcements from Sakea quelled the Orc invasion, such a victory cementing the alliance between our species forevermore. Liberating Kroot enclaves for over 10 Terran cycles of conflict, the Kroot leader, Angkor Prok, swore upon the sacred oathstone of his homeworld of Pech that his people would tithe warriors hereafter to the greater good. First contact made with the Imperium and the Kroot made during the Damocles Gulf Crusade on the world of Silkel. In battle against the 4th Brimlock Dragoons of the Astra Militarum, the might of these hunters proved invaluable. Stronger by far than a typical human due to their dense fiber-spindled musculature, their frail-seeming visage lulls their enemies into a false sense of superiority before demonstrating the efficacy of their quick muscle contractions. Bounding into the fray at immense speeds for an infantry unit, the Kroot leapt great heights and distances, allowing for swift ambushes, reaping terrible losses to the forces of Colonel Constantine Griffin. Absorbing traits from the prey they gorge on, this species is among the most diverse in scale, temperament, and ability of any discovered within the galaxy. Seeking out desirable traits to be harnessed from their game, all share knowledge on the means to which they acquire adaptation to their clan members, which they regard to as kindred. Their spiritual and military leaders, known as Shapers, each clan master shall ordain the best quarry to hunt in order to strengthen their own people, selecting the most ideal traits to acquire and fill the Nymnes organs of their kin with DNA. Capable of sprouting wings, gaining dense muscle mass, and mutating their organs to become capable of surviving hazardous environments, their innate means to adapt has become integrated into the Kroot's belief system. Devouring not only their enemies' bodies, but also their warrior spirits in the process, their pagan beliefs and barbaric customs are tolerated by the Tau Empire due to their immense value as allies of the greater good. Not only eating their foes, but also their slain brethren, their consumption of kin allows for the retaining of their expertise. Should a Kroot favor consuming a particular species in excess, their changes shall become more pronounced, becoming more cunning when eating Drukhari, zealousness from humans, or brutality from orcs. Their taste buds able to identify tainted meat, such senses have proven valuable in identifying those who are in thrall of the clutches of the Genestealer hybrids to prevent their influence spreading within the Tau Empire. Evolutionary dead ends incurred should they feast only on animals. The prospect of losing their intelligence when offered such diets has caused them to adopt many vegetarian choices when no sentient prey are available. Tyranids and chaos-corrupted humans being the only species to be hazardous when consumed. Even should they survive their transformation wrought from such flesh, they often do not inherit traits deemed in keeping with the Tau Va. Though technically able to devour the necrodermis flesh of the Necrons, all efforts to adapt such ancients have also proven dangerous. For it is not uncommon for nano-scarabs to burst from the chests of Kroot, foolish enough to attempt to digest such automatons. Demanding as part of our alliance that no Tau shall ever be consumed, those that defy the laws of the ethereal caste are punished with death by the Shapers of the Violators clan. Utilizing hybrid Kroot animal species such as the lumbering Krootox, serpentine Kroot worms, Narlock riding beasts, and Kroot hounds for labor and pack animal purposes, even those deemed genetic failures find purpose in Kroot society. Forbidding entry into the heart of several forests of the world of Pek, many a cannibalistic abomination lurks within the depths of such canopies, all too eager to protect its domains from trespassers. The imposing great Narlax, domesticated to the point of placidity by their handlers, when outfitted as a mobile weapons platform, the Kroot can also train such giants as beasts of burden and combat mounts, yet they shall become frenzied should their handler perish. Revering the Kroot hawk as the most sacred of such animals, many speculate the avian to be the closest example of the Kroot's evolutionary ancestry. Pledging their service not only to the Tau Empire, but even humans should promising genetic materials be on offer, the Kroot have cultivated a reputation as capable mercenaries, willing to sell their services to any should the reward be commensurate. Pursuing limited contracts for both major and minor factions throughout the galaxy, the Kroot's trade routes and flexible nature allow for the Tau Empire to benefit from their unorthodox measures outside the typical scope of the Tau Va. Regarded as pre-industrial by all but the Tau Empire, regardless of their tribal trappings, the Kroot species have been capable of space traversal since prior to their union with our species. Housing industrial bases upon their homeworld seemingly derived from their consumption of the Orc species, the Greenskins' uncanny ability to create technologies out of otherwise non-functional components has been adopted by the Kroot to great effect. Prioritizing advancements in weapons technology and interstellar travel above all else, Kroot carnivores typically carry rifles into battle, fitted with mundane, bladed tips. Occasionally fitting Kroot guns to their Krootox mounts to unleash more deadly firepower, the Kroot have also developed sniper rifle variants of their rifles to great effect. Willing to use weapon technologies from other species, the Kroot favor weapons varying from human bolt pistols, Eldar shuriken pistols, and even Orc shooters. Seizing Imperial war gear such as grenades, Auspex sensors, and on occasion Orc totems for their own purposes, the scavenging tendencies of the Kroot emphasize their nature to adapt to whatever is necessary to achieve their goals. For despite their crude weapons, appearance, and cultural trappings, the Kroot remain the foremost experts of frontline melee skirmishes and ambush tactics of the Fire caste.